The link is not available?
Second question, I would say no. Professional, right? We're looking for someone to do the job.
Yeah,
PBA agreement. No. It's not related. Chief is not represented by PBA.
Well, it just kicked me off, so maybe she tried to do it at the same time. I was being stopped.
Or just get my
It's July 13th, 9:15 to 9:30 PM. Similar request to all the others they've done. We can't vote on anything.
But
I think that's it coming in.
Matt, can you answer the second question?
Second
On the
question, is
list.
there anyone on the current active list?
That's what, that one I don't know because that's driven
You
by,
haven't had a test. Am I
That's-
right
yeah.
about that, Fuller? There's been no test.
You are now being recording. Now, we are on, now you're live, you can start.
we can start. Is
You can start.
there anybody online that wants to ask a question?
No, there's nobody on.
All right, well, good morning, DeWitt. Let's say the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. July 8th, 8:05 AM, Ange. First on the list is the,
Want me to do the roll call?
oh yeah, you should do the roll call. That's right. There's a few of us missing.
Deputy Supervisor Mannion,
Here.
Counselors Hood,
here,
Alex,
Here.
and Chiarenza.
Here.
Okay, Ruckdischel, Counselors Ruckdischel and Dueling are absent along with Supervisor Michaelenko.
All right, we got four of us. I don't think there's any too controversial on here, so. Got the fireworks contract with Onondaga Country Club for July 13th, 9:15 to 9:30. Pretty typical. Motion from Joe Chiarenza, second from Sarah Clee Hood, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, staying. Good on that one. Let's see, Justice Clerk Briggs is not here. Rocco, you want to give us the highway highlights?
I'll do the highlights first. I gave you guys a paper, sent some information around, just some things that Highway's been working on this spring. Water break restorations. We cleaned up 47 areas with topsoil and seeded them. Blacktop 45 different areas were restored. 21 potholes repaired throughout the town. Road paving, we did Oric Road from Thompson Road to the Boulevard. We also did Thompson Road from, actually Orvilleton from Newfield to the curve on Thompson. And then we did Thompson all the way down to basically the Boulevard where we end. And we did a little short stretch of Radcliffe Road also with hot mix paving. Bambrick Road in the south, Old Barker Hill Road, Sewickley and Salvia Road were chip sealed. And then we Cape sealed basically the whole Dunroven area of Franklin Park. So those are the streets listed that were done. And actually that was finished last week.
what is a Cape Seal Rock?
Cape seal is like a layer of oil and stone, and then the fiber micro slurry seal is a surface treatment. So it surface treats the whole road.
Not just the cracks, just.
It does all the cracks, yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Yep. It's just pavement preservation. Just, it extends the life of the road maybe another 8 to 10 years. And then we just build
Rocco, excuse me, and just let me say they did a phenomenal job on Orvilleton, Newfield down to Thompson.
Yep.
Even the traffic flow, just how they orchestrated people going in and out.
Did a good job. Ed Rosselli did that for us, and even Ed made a comment. They did a really good job. They held traffic. Kept everybody moving. Yeah,
That was
very
fun.
fast. Yep. And then chip sealed over in the north, corporate, Ellicott, Newbrook, Tarbell, Twin Oaks, VIP Parkway. Catch basins repaired and rebuilt so far, we're 28. 241 loads of brush picked up in throughout the town. We did 3 pickups. So far, we did April, May, and June, taking okra. And then we've been mowing detention basins. We did the solar farm, roadside ditches, trim vegetation and stop signs and sight distance issues that come in and we notice and we trim them as the vegetation continues to grow out with all this rain we've had too. Any questions on that before I move to the report?
No, I want to say thank you. On Linden Road, a tree just randomly fell over on a really sunny day and your crew was there within 15 minutes to clear the road
Yeah.
and then stopping it up. So thank you.
So
We watched the whole thing happen. It was great.
it was, it's funny, not even a windstorm or something and then a lemon break.
Yeah.
Without, no rhyme or reason.
Over on Randall Road near the baseball diamond at CBA. That hedgerow there is growing, we pull up a little bit, the hedgerow is growing a little.
Kind of by the cemetery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You trim that back.
Yeah, the boom mower go up there. Yep, yeah, Brewster's out with that today. Some highlights with the report. I can go through it with you guys. If you got any questions, just interrupt me. We'll just go through it quick. Snow season, we did 79 trips. Purchased 5,065 tons of salt at a cost of $209,767. Equipment that we use, that we figure in our equipment just for an hourly rate, just so we get an idea what it does cost us is $254,000. Personnel was $204,000. Total cost is $668,900. And then we reimbursed for salt purchases by JD and ESM of $14,327. What they do is they come down and pick up salt at our shop and they reimburse us, which helps us out. It wasn't done in the past, but we've been continually doing that in the future.
For the snow season, what was this compared to like last year or previous years?
I'd have to look at the 22.
Okay, no worries.
Should have run. Yeah. Picked up 354 tires on the roadside at a cost of $1,895. Dumping and recycling personnel and equipment, picking up roadside trash throughout the year. You see those numbers, $2,900 and then $3,400, which I think has been getting better and better. Honestly, I think we're not seeing as much dumping, especially Myers Pheasant, Benedict over there, I think has been a lot less. So. Signs, usually we do all of our sign work in the winter time. If you guys aren't snow plowing. So we replaced 147 signs, 87 new posts. Breakaways, new and replaced with 93. Total cost of $67,721. And then we had 452 hours in sweeping the roads last year. Personnel and equipment is in there at 18,397. And equipment was 35,416. Brush removal, we had 6,590 hours involved in that. 594 loads total. Personnel was 249,000, equipment 225, total cost of 475. And our tip and fee was $26,110 to Okra.
Hey, Rock, how do you ascertain your equipment line? Like what's the 225, 754? Does that include?
Well, just basically the loader cost, like we use an hourly rate that's out there working on the trucks. Usually state puts those rates out there. So we just kind of get an idea what it actually is costing us for the rate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Which we own the equipment, you know what I mean, but just an idea what it technically would cost. Leaf removal, we had 2,626 hours, 197 loads of leaves, catching all 119, equipment 78,000, total cost of 197,728. Mowing, 732 hours mowing. Cost of $71,385. That's equipment and personnel. She put it in there that way. And then landfill maintenance, we had personnel 1,373 hours and equipment of 1,728. And that's basically mowing the landfill once a year, and then we keep the solar panels mowed and trimmed usually 2 or 3 times a year. We try to keep it a little bit closer near the solar panels. Tree maintenance removed by Grimm, $23,910 for dead or damaged trees on the roadside or wind damage, where we have to get a limb out of the tree that's up high, we can't reach. And then, line of sight distance, where we're trimming the roads, for vision issues. We had 1,800 hours involved in that. We usually do a lot of that trimming in the wintertime also when we're not. Catch basins, 55 repaired, 935 cleaned. Personnel was 42,907, equipment was 50,594. And the materials, concrete, lumber, concrete risers and grates was 21,127. And just to give you an idea, we try to do, the town's divided up into 4 sections. We try to clean half of them a year. So we're over 2,000 catch basins. So we pretty much cleaned almost half the catch basins last year. So last year we did section 3 and 4. This year we're doing section 1 and 2. Ditching and piping, 1,596 hours involved in that. Personnel, 58,000, equipment, 63,000, the materials for pipe, any other concrete that they needed was $8,312. Water break restorations for the whole year, 2,420 hours. Personnel was 72,203, equipment 61,037. Water breaks total tops over 100, and blacktop ones where the asphalt restoration was 56. Our maintenance and repairs, the highway does all the maintenance on planning and zoning codes, rec vehicles, parks, water, and police. So the police is usually the bigger one for the hours. We had 273 hours, 81,053 in parts, 12,675 in labor. And it cost to us about 93,749. The bus we no longer have, we had sold that too, so we won't be doing that.
What's the bus bring?
That,
How much did it bring?
you have to look, Joe, 3,000 or 4,000, I think, kind of what we figured it would go for. Went down to New York City. Last year's road striping, we did Woodchuck, Butternut, Kinney, Whitewaters, Maple, Edinger, Linden, Cedar Bay, Randall, Schuyler. Butternut paving project that we did out here. Total cost for everything, all the reconstruction of the shoulders, 365,000, which we added a 5-foot bike lane on both sides. And we got reimbursed, we put in for chip reimbursement for 152,000 of that. Other roads that we paved was Woodchuck from Maple to Jamesville. Did North Midler last year from Newport to Old Port Street. We did Steinway South, Waterloo, Green Tree, Wendell Court. Santa, Sarah Lane, Morehouse Flats, Whirlybird, and Phyllis. And we did a Cape Seal on Brandon Road, Rock, Frederick Street, Grover Street, Michael, North Island, Nelson, Parkwood, Patsy, Windcrest, Lansdale, Cooper, Hamilton. And then we chip sealed Canada Drive, which is an oil and stone, Chrysler Lane and Schuyler Road from 298 to the Cicero line. Training, this is the training that we go through every year. We do it spring and fall, just a refresher every year. The guys go through all the training to keep up with pest requirements. And then always we're responding to flooding, catch basins, any hazard signs, tree limbs, ceased animals on our roads. Water breaks in the winter, the guys are out. If it's freezing, they're out salting to make sure there's no ice condition. Any questions?
Everybody good? Very thorough report.
I'm always available too if you guys need anything.
It's always good to see it in writing. You do a great job. That's like really good organization where you can break it down like that and throw it at us.
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Attorney Natoli, the DeWitt Landing request to terminate drainage easement. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes.
What we're doing?
I attached the documentation on Civic Plus. I was forwarded this by Jamie Suffman. And it's my understanding that this is DeWitt Landing, also known as TTM, and they had their site plan approved. As part of that, and just reading through these documents, at some point, this land was subdivided. As part of this project, it was all brought back into one parcel. And so certain drainage easements that were on the property that we required for the original subdivision are no longer needed. And so if you look at the two maps here, there's one map without the highlights, and then there's another map, A2, with highlights on it, and those highlighted portions are to be abandoned. So it's not the entire easement, I don't think, it's just the portions highlighted in the second map. Amy tells me the paperwork is in order and is compliant with what the planning board wanted as part of the approval. And so what I have to do is have the board approve it and have Ed sign it, and then it can be filed to abandon the easement. We did a similar thing with Canalway Commons a few months ago, if you recall.
Right. Yep. No, I'm okay with it. I mean, makes sense. There's one parcel now instead of a few parcels.
One less headache.
Yeah. Motion. Bernard Alex, second from Joe Chirenza, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Carries. You can have it signed. Thanks, Matt. I don't know who was leading.
Ed had the dogs and the fees, he made that, they just pushed that to the 22nd.
But I think the discussion has been, should there be a limit on 3, 4, or 5? What does the code say now? Ange, do you know?
5. More than 5.
More than 5. I think. Pretty sure.
5 is considered is considered a dog shelter.
But yeah, I know, the question is whether it's a kennel or not. And so if you have a kennel, then there's certain requirements like distances from your neighbors and size of the property. If you don't, if it's not a kennel, if you have 5 dogs, say, or 5 dogs.
5, yeah, you can have up to 5.
You have to have them registered, but there's no requirements to keep them in a run or keep them away from your neighbors, so. Ed had proposed lowering that number to 3 or 4. I don't think he really decided, but I think he wanted the board's thoughts on potentially changing the code.
And if you keep the licenses, how many, did you look, how many, do we even have any homes that have
Yes.
more than 3 licensed dogs?
Yes. Kate sent that around. I thought she sent it to all
20 something?
board members.
24, I think was the number.
Yeah,
Sticking in my mind.
yeah. I'll resend that around.
I think the, I think we all understand what the intent is. I'd be okay, again, the existing, I think would be grandfathered. That's how we'd write the law,
I would think.
Yes.
I
but
don't think you can,
But it would apply to registered dogs. You gotta have
yeah.
5 registered dogs in order to get grandfathered. If they're not registered, then really they never. were here
well, I
in the
mean,
first place.
that becomes further investigation for the planning and zoning department to determine how many dogs are actually at house.
Pulls heartstrings too.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. People love their dogs.
I know, I mean, I was kind of leaning towards 3. What's the board think? I mean, this isn't the most important topic, but it will affect a few people in the town.
I'd say 3.
Is this, before I answer, there have been issues, obviously. I mean, dogs that are getting out, is there a concern about puppy mills, people just doing perhaps in some of the more less traveled roads up to it? Has there ever been any of that concern? Is this, or is it just about dogs here?
I don't think so. I haven't heard concern until just recently.
I think it's more of a health and safety issue.
Right.
Like anything else in life, you got 100 people with 6 dogs each, there's probably gonna be 2 out of those 100 that don't take care of their dogs and they're running around, and the other 98 are taking
Yes.
care of them. So I think it's a tool for the planning and zoning, the code department. If a house ends up with 8 dogs and they're running all over the place, that we have the ability to go in and try to get it under control.
Ultimately, the SPCA handles
So who do
dog items.
if the dog is unleashed, just going around, who do you call?
SPCA.
Yeah.
We had a contract with SPCA for a year to help us with all the dogs. We don't have a dog catcher anymore. We used to have a dog catcher, I believe.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
For many years, but now we got a third party contract. SPCA does it pretty much for the whole county.
Right,
now.
right.
Makes sense.
We're fiscally responsible to have them do it.
I mean, we can push it off to the next meeting. We've talked about it, unless somebody wants to vote on it or make a
I
motion.
think we just wait till we have a
I
full.
can draft up the documents. I can put it to the board and you can schedule it or not.
Yeah, we
It's not-
do.
Great, can we do that?
Yeah.
We do a full
Won't
board.
take me a long time. Really just a one sentence thing.
All right, we've got Justice Clerk Linda Briggs here to give us the quarterly report. You want to come on up and
Yeah, I was just giving it right there in that chair.
you can stay there if you want, that's all right.
Well, I'm not sure what kind of, it's a quarterly report, yes. But as you know, our income in our court depends heavily on those who pay their fines and fees and surcharges. Things that have been new here have been, we are now doing quarterly meetings. I'm sorry, not quarterly, this is a quarterly report. We are doing bi-weekly staff meetings. This one little meeting over lunch to raise any questions. We just had one. And we established some things that would help both Judge Rennie and Judge Young do their fines faster. And that was a great thing. I also did speak to Judge Rennie about raising his fines. That $7 fine is not going to stop anyone from doing 87 miles an hour down 481 anymore.
Correct.
Or through the town of DeWitt, anywhere. So we expect these numbers to come up a little bit. There have been some things, you know, we were still short-staffed. Tracy's still working on fines. They are going out easy, a lot sooner now. Tracy sees a light at the end of the tunnel, he's the vehicle and traffic clerk. So once that fourth clerk starts, we can get those out quicker, easier, sooner. So that's where we stand right now. I don't know if you want to go over numbers, but second quarter for Judge Young was $24,682 and Judge Rennie was $21,629. That's where Judge Rennie's really low fines are coming in. And that's about it.
May I ask, are these moving violations, you're saying fine $7?
Yep. They were. No. Most of the $7 fines, contrary to popular belief, no inspections sticker is not a fix-it ticket. But when people come in and present the fact that they did get it inspected the next day, there is usually a $7, $17, $27, $37 fine on those, depending on how long it has been between the time of the ticket and the time of the inspection. So they do find those low, and I'm in agreement with those. I'm just used to Judge Gideon really walloping people, out of state drivers specifically, on a speeding ticket. And we just thought that Ian should try to get his fines up more. And that is happening going forward already. Ian just did about a week's worth of fines and they were all higher.
So is at the judge's discretion,
Absolutely.
even if they were to be the same moving violation at the same, say, a speeding ticket at 5 miles over the speed limit for the same speed limit, Judge Young and Judge Rennie can determine 2 different amounts?
Yep.
Is that normal?
Yep. In the court, there is a fine range, so they can fine anywhere within that range. The only constant things are the surcharges charged by the state.
Just from a brief overview of the things that have been sent out, I mean, it looks like our revenue collection is down significantly this year. It's been coming down for the past few years.
Yep.
So
That's because the court no longer has any means to collect it. We used to be able to suspend people's licenses, and now with the new legislation, we cannot even do that. And no one cares whether their fines and fees are converted to a civil judgment. We have drawers and boxes of people who just don't pay, and there's nothing we can do except convert them to a civil judgment.
That's the result of a New York state law?
Yep.
Okay.
When is that?
Suspend them for failure to appear, but not failure to pay.
And how long has that law been in effect?
It came into effect during COVID.
You're looking at me like I know, I'm not
Um,
exactly.
So
What you're
it's the
saying makes sense.
last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
2020, right? COVID.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
before people have to pay to get their car back, you'd have to pay. Now you don't.
It was later that year. The DMV lifted all suspensions that were suspended for failure to pay.
Right.
Blanket lift. We are still finding some though, because we never suspended for failure to pay because of the process to suspend. For failure to pay, we always suspended for failure to appear. So those are still on the books. But either way, they don't care. No one cares,
There's
and there's nothing we can do about it.
no penalty, right? You renew your license, you go renew your registration.
I just had a guy at the window the other day, came in, he's got 3 other pending tickets, 2 different cases. He owes money on one, he's gonna plead not guilty, so we have to give him the paperwork to contact the DA's office, which he doesn't, then we suspend him, but all he has to do is come back in and plead again before his suspension is up. And it goes on and on and on and on.
Do you have an estimated cost associated with these outstanding?
Oh, Lord, no. I honestly have no idea. Every file is different. Yeah, I would have to pull every one of them.
Can you make them keep appearing, just so they can constantly come back? Can you keep making them appear?
Oh, we suspend them after 70 days. They have 90 days or 70 days to contact the DA on day 71. I would like to start suspending people, because even the day we suspend people, the DMV still gives them between 33 and 38 days to make it effective. So in that time frame, they come in and they plead not guilty again, well, they get another 70 days to New York state law.
It was a lot behind. People have these high fees, they can't go to work, their car suspended, it becomes a cycle that, the more tenderhearted it said, this is why we need to change it, but municipalities and people who are unscrupulous just don't care, they just keep right on going, because there's no, right, there you go, that word. There's no comeback to it.
No repercussion.
Okay, any other questions from the board?
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. See the town board minutes. So, you get my one change I sent you?
I have not checked my email yet, but
Oh.
I will, and
Just a typo.
I'll have to. Okay.
But otherwise, anybody would make a motion to accept the minutes, from, what was it, June, what date, Ange?
It would be 4th.
6/24? Yep. A motion from Joe, a second from Bernard, all in favor, aye, opposed. And it's our official, Ange,
All right,
with the one versus change that I sent you.
yes.
Matt, do you want to talk a little bit about discussion on fees in the town code? I know.
All I know, Ed didn't put this on the agenda. I think Ed wants to make it more clear in our code, the different fees that apply everywhere, and do a review to make sure that we're collecting appropriate fees at all levels. I know we have the one fee schedule that's in 1510, but there's a lot more in the code that could be updated and revised. So I think Ed wants just a summary of the fees and where they are, and so we can stay up to date. I've got to comb through the code to get that. So I'll try.
We already have, well, we have that,
You have it compiled,
yeah.
and we talked with our group. So maybe we can take our findings, Angela, and talk to the board next, when Ed's here, next meeting, and
Yeah, I'll resend.
I don't know if Jack will be here, but I think you and I could carry that.
If you could send it around, Ange, just to
Yeah,
focus
There was talk about
on the fees that are most,
consistent increases across the board, I think, because you've seen how the
Yeah.
water rates have kind of increased.
yeah, no, I mean, everything.
Just trying to keep everything up to date.
Yeah. Okay. Controller Fusco is here. Want to give us a little summary of the check register warrants?
you want mine?
Yeah.
Any red flags?
Got an early quick meeting here.
Okay, so there's two check registers, one went out for the 6/18 one, those are some water refunds. Robin and I have been going through some accounts and just trying to clean everything up. So there was some water refunds. But we had a training on the 25th with Encode, and they showed us a process that kind of reallocates it to. So it cleaned up a lot. And then the regular register, we had our normal water bills. Health insurance bills, there's one in particular, we paid Eves. There's quarterly,
WT Malone.
WT Malone, I can't really speak to those are the water breaks. Aqua. Dental insurance. Paving materials. WT Malone, yeah, some water breaks.
Janesville sewer.
Oh, and the Janesville sewer, yeah, that was one of the Janesville sewer bottle loan. On the annual payment,
How many years left on that one?
I believe it's 2033.
So we're getting there. That was the. Okay. We've been having our monthly budget meetings. The controller and Ange and. Seems to be moving along. I think we're making some good progress. Hope to have. Some clearer numbers in August.
Yeah, I'm gonna schedule a meeting for the week of the 22nd
Of August, right?
of July.
July, yeah, we're gonna have that meeting, but then we'll get together again in August. And get ready for the tentative budget, right, at the end of September?
September 20th before.
Excellent, okay. Any updates? Anything from the audience? Doug Miller? Ken Fuller, anything?
Just here in case you have a question for me and to turn on the computer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I came in use today, so that's what I came to do.
I think we've hit everything on it, right? So we just need to make a motion to go into executive session. Question from Joe. Second from Bernard, all in favor, aye. We're now in executive.
Wait, can you wait and go back and just do the check register real quick?
Oh, that's right, we need to make a. Backing up. Need a motion to accept the check register warrants. Motion from Bernard, second from Joe, all in favor, aye. Motion carries, check register, couple more weeks, good job. Controller Fusco. Right, now let's make a motion to go into executive session.
Go Bernard.
Yep. You care we didn't keep you that long?
You're just. Yeah.
Where the kids in the car? The window down.
Not for lots of thank you.